3, 2, hey, we're live. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning into the BAMF podcast. And hang on just 1 second. Sorry about that, but branding is very important. Welcome to the BAMF podcast, Planet Beat 'em Ups. With what's the name of our game today, Dale?
Oh, we're playing Castles and Crusades.
Castles and Crusades, CNC. And down beneath me, we have Castle Keeper Dalius. Nice to meet you, Dalius. Beneath Dalius, we have Lala, aka Alice Pang. How you doing, Alice?
Great. Thank you for having me again.
Hi, everyone. Who is your character today?
I am playing Krook. I am going to be a half-orc monk. So I'm more of a pugilist than a, monastery monk, though.
Okay.
I grew up in the streets, kind of.
Sacrilege.
Sort of a street corner preacher / street corner boxer type.
Yeah, pugilist.
Okay, sweet. Beneath Alice, we have Walt, who is playing. What is your barbarian's name, Walt?
Davik. And I just need to know, every time when Lala beats somebody up, do you yell out at the top of your lungs, "You need Jesus"?
No, no, I do not.
Sort of an evangelical orc, cleric, monk, pugilist.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. You are healed. Pow. Beneath Walt, who's playing Davik, the human barbarian, we have Jason Sunday, who's playing Archimedes Shadow Chaser.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And I'm guessing you are a spellcaster of some kind with that name.
Wizard Investigator Extraordinaire. Yes.
Wizard Investigator, Do you have a pipe?
Yes, I do.
All right, that makes sense.
Lifelong pipe.
We want to see that prop.
Yeah.
Jacob!
Well, you have to imagine.
Maybe not.
Let's see. And last but not least, Aid Smith from across the pond. I believe you're playing an assassin of some kind.
Yeah, a Garv, the human assassin, correct.
Okay, sweet. And what was your guy's name again?
Garv.
Garv. Okay, cool.
Garv, yes.
And I am playing Brokar, and my deity is usually played in the comments by Jacob Blackman.
Nice pipe.
Yeah. It is that kind of podcast, folks. All right. I have to step away, unfortunately, because I do have a day job, and they're yelling for me on this laptop, so I'm going to go on mute and turn off my camera. And Brokar is there to heal you if you need. Otherwise, Walt will be playing the role of host, and Dale is the role of GM, and I'm sharing out Albert Rodeo, who is a great free VTT. You should check out yourself. So
Yeah, it's a nice one. It's relatively simple. The author does a lot of little videos, and so about an hour's of attention to his videos, and you'll be a master of this program. Unlike myself, who's just a klutz.
okay.
Okay, so you all ready to roll?
Jacob Blackman says, "Ride the pipe, bro." And with that happy note, I will be jumping over here. Walt, if things go really bad and you absolutely need Brokar, you can text me, and
Gotcha.
I will be your dwarven cleric on demand. So, all right, I'm going mute, and I'll see you guys in a bit.
Bye.
Great.
So, Dale, I
Okay.
did have a question for you. I did
Yes.
not see a setting that you were going to run with, so I went with the generic Greyhawk. So I went with Fultus for my god. Brandon is going to laugh at the Fultus slip up. Fultus as the deity for my monk, if that's
I
cool.
saw that. That shouldn't be a problem. I don't think deities will get involved in this a lot. I will just assume that you're in explicitly wonderful contact with your deity 24/7, and he values you so much he's willing to help you out in any circumstance.
Mhm.
Does that work? If that doesn't work for
Sure,
you, though,
that works great.
just let me know.
No, that works great. It's just
Okay.
if a few friends of mine end up watching this, they're gonna make me sing the Fultus song. So I'm
Oh,
hoping
well,
they don't see this.
Wait, there's
You
a song.
advise me when you need to sing the song, and we'll just quiet down and let you do that.
There is. So, but yeah, cool. Glad I
Okay, before we get started, are there any Castles and Crusades questions that you might want to ask, or any mechanics you're a little unclear on? Excellent, excellent. Okay, here we go. So it's mid-morning on a dusty road. Your feet are sore, and you're still nursing a grudge against the griffins who ate your horses just a couple of days ago. Fortunately, you were able to recover most of your useful gear. You may have lost a few things that got dragged away by the griffin, but you're pretty well equipped still. Up ahead of you on the road, you see the signs of a small hamlet nestled into the woods at the side of the road, and better yet, there appears to be a tavern there named the Neighbor's Inn. Seeking to slake your parched throats, you decide it's time for a break from walking, and you head off to the inn to get a drink and get the lay of the land. So, what kind of a marching order do you people have? Who's your sort of de facto upfront leader kind of guy?
Or gal.
Yeah, right. I'll roll
Lala's
it.
in charge.
Who's in charge?
Lala, because she
Lala
is
is in charge.
she is the most pious of us all, and will
Excellent.
keep us under a tight leash.
I've got the no. See, this is old school. So I went with the you gotta have a charisma. Okay, you don't want me in front. Trust me. I vote the barbarian before me.
Okay. So Davik is leading the way up to the tavern, and there's an old fella balanced on the back two legs of his chair right by the front door, and he's got a beady eye on you. And as you get up to the door, he actually reaches out and just gently grabs your arm there, Davik, and he says, "They're looking for your type in there. You be careful now."
I will, and you be careful yourself, lest you lose those fingers as I
My
separate them
apologies,
from your
he
neck.
says. No harm meant, young man. I see you're very powerfully built, and I wouldn't be that foolish. So coming out of the door of the inn, there are quite a lot of voices. It sounds quite busy. In some cases, it sounds like the voices are a little bit on the raised sides, but you won't really know what's going on until you go in. Give me your fateful decision. Will you turn away from the inn now and ruin the next hour? Or are you going ahead on into the inn?
While the guy's got Davik, I'm just gonna push past him because I want a drink. So I'll just slip right by and continue going.
Not a problem. So it is quite busy in there. It's not quite lunchtime, though. And in fact, it looks like there are a couple of fellows at one end of the bar as you're at one end of the room as you're approaching the bar. And they seem to be the attention of most of the noise going on in there. And there's a little crowd of what apparently are citizens of this little hamlet. And they seem to have these two guys kind of cornered into one end of the room, and there's a lot of raised voices. "It's a plague, I tell you. That woman is no more his wife than I am my own mother's prized milk cow." And the hubbub continues, and you hear another voice. "She's a witch. I've seen her. You've seen her. She haunts these streets and preys on our livestock."
I'm just gonna go walk up to one of the men that is assaulting cornering the women, and I'm just going to lift him by his shirt, by the shoulders, and drop him beside me.
Oh, and the whole crowd goes hushed, and as the rest of you are filing in, they're all looking at you, and it's like they've never seen hardcore adventurers before. I will say the fellow that you lifted out of the crowd is actually Burgermaster Clancy, and he is like the local mayor of the town. And he thanks you very much for getting him out of that. He said, "These people wouldn't really hurt me, but they're very, very concerned." In the background, you can hear another person say, "She's the cause of our secrets being out and the cause of old Lady Marion's death. This I know." So to get a nice local weekly brewed beer, it costs you a couple of copper pieces. Not really a drain on any of your pocketbooks. And as the serving person behind the bar is getting a few pictures of this weak ale out, you'll also hear someone say, "I helped bury Marion just a few days ago." That look on her face, only the terror of a witch can bring that on. And at this point, the other fellow who was sort of cornered at the end of the room, who people are calling Sheriff Ross, and he's urging everyone to calm down, calm down. We have guests here, and we wouldn't want to give them the wrong sort of idea. "Guests," another person cries out. "Phew, I don't know what they're going to do. I've tried to go up there, don't you know? But something's on that road. Some evil creature haunts those winding stairs." And another person says, "It's obvious. She's got our mage. She probably killed him long ago. And now we're the next victims of her spreading evil."
A witch, you say?
Yeah, the burgomaster turns around to you and he says, "Well, we don't really have any truth or any proof, but there have been sightings of an old hag wandering around at night with a terrible, terrible, awful face, and other people swear that they've seen Andrew's wife walking the streets and peeping into other people's windows." So what the story that they'll tell you is that about 6 months ago, the local wizard known as Andrew the White declared that he had found himself a wife. But over the last 6 months, he's appeared less and less in town, and pretty much over the last month, no one's seen him. And in fact, in the last month, there have been a string of petty thefts, followed by a string of far more serious thefts, including precious items and lots of coinage and some very expensive items. And in fact, over the last few days, this Marion woman who decided she'd had enough of the nonsense tried to venture up to the Wizard's Tower, known as the Meadow Tower, and she was found dead at the foot of the staircase. And everyone's blaming Andrew's wife, and they realize, one of the things that you hear them discussing amongst themselves is, he never told us her name, and she's never told us, and we really don't know who she is. So people are very concerned, and they want someone of more import to go up and check out the tower, make sure that their pet mage is safe.
I look over at Archimedes. This white wiggle finger's never good.
Never good. Never good.
So
In fact, a couple of people start taking the sheriff to task as to why he hasn't gone up. And you can tell that you can see the blood kind of drain from his face. And he goes, Mama, the water on my knee. I can't climb those stairs. I'm not up to that kind of a task. And people start looking at each other, and you can hear a whole chorus of denials. And, well, it's not the kind of job that we're made out to be. But if we had someone who's really strong and dealing with trouble, maybe we could do something about it. At which point...
So what I'm hearing is there's a reward for this, yes?
Oh, well, the sheriff steps up and he says, yeah, of course there's a reward. If you're willing to go up there, we'll pay your group 1,000 gold pieces to bring us news back.
Archimedes looks at the group and says, 1,000 gold can buy a lot of brew.
I already started walking out after I said, you made Crook food, Crook a look. And I started walking out before reward was talked about. All I care about is they better have food ready when I'm back.
Okay.
Okay, and I was saying, yeah,
Simple half orc
1,000
with simple
gold
needs.
pieces. 1,000 gold
Sorry,
pieces
Abe.
will buy my blade. That's what I was saying.
Okay, so the sheriff says, I see that you have some beers on the go, and that at least one of your party is expecting some food. He says, I've got to get out of here. It's getting a bit too crowded for me. But he says, if you just go out here and hang a right, my office is the next building over, and I'll have some gold and a couple of other things for you. At which point...
Does he
Go
have
ahead.
a badge?
No, he doesn't.
Or like a symbol of office or anything?
No. You do see that the Burgermeister does have a slightly elaborate chain with a little medallion on the top of it. But the sheriff is unadorned. He's got a longsword at his side, and he's wearing some chainmail, just a chain shirt. But the looks of him, you wouldn't really put a whole lot of stock in what his capabilities are.
All right,
So
get him going.
He elbows his way out of the inn, and within a few minutes, your pitchers of beer are ready, and there's lots of food laid on. Everyone is curious, but they all look a little timid as to actually go up and maybe touch you or talk to you.
I walked out.
Yeah, we all walk
have
out.
food ready when I get back. I am heading towards that wizard's tower.
Archimedes downs his mug of ale, slams it on the counter, tips the waitress or the barkeep, and follows the group.
Excellent.
I
Okay,
crack my knuckles as I walk.
so you guys don't want to waste any time.
No,
I
crack my
will,
knuckles as I go.
I'll just go and pat the sheriff on the shoulder and say, don't worry, I'm sure you'll be better at your next job. And then I'll leave.
He looks at you quizzically as he's leaving the inn. So drink or eat or drink. Whenever you're ready, you leave the inn. The old fella on his chair, once again, he'll just sort of tap Davik as he's going by. Oh, goodness. He does have a thing here to say. He says words to the effect of... don't you worry, fellas. This is no pushover, and make sure you take seriously the stories of the villagers in there. They're not just mindlessly frightened. They have reason to be scared.
Judging by the fact that they couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, I can see why. And let's keep going.
So you get to the sheriff's office. He already has a bag of 1,000 gold pieces sitting on his desk, and he says, "This will just sit right here until you bring us back word as to whether Andrew the White is alive or if he's not alive. Is that okay with you? Is that a good deal, or do you need maybe half up front, or what's your preference?"
The great god Jacob demands we get half up front.
Half up front it is. So he puts the 1,000 gold piece bag back in a drawer, and he pulls out 2 500s, and he pushes one towards you, and he says, "There's your half, and I'll keep this safe here for when you return with word about Andrew." Oh, one more thing he says. Andrew left me a key to his tower should something go awry, and he produces a big lead key, and he hands it over to you, and he said, "This will at least get you in through the front door of the tower if you get that far and don't run into further troubles." So he'll tell you, take the road out the other end of town from which you came in, cross the Stone Bridge, and less than 50 paces on, you'll see a path on the right that leads into the woods, and that'll take you to the Wizard Tower stairs.
Let's do it.
Head out.
So off you go. Down the road, you see the bridge ahead. There are a number of little houses, but you can see that there are a few paths leading off into the woods where the tavern and the sheriff's office were. And you can see some nice little cottages and homes in there. It's a quaint little place, but yeah, it's not the kind of place where you'd find a lot of fighters.
On the way
So-
to the tower, I'm going to ask Archimedes, how many fingers could break this time?
Let's start with 2.
Okay. These two. Start
These
figuring
two?
out which combination of fingers
It's your choice.
I'm going to break on the wiggle fingers.
Or would that just be any two? So you cross the bridge, and true to his word, shortly after you get off the bridge, on your right you see a fairly well-trodden path, and that certainly looks like the place to go. It's about a half-mile walk through the woods before you come to a stone stairway that snakes up the side of the hill, and it's quite an impressive stairway. It's broad. It appears to be in good condition, like good repair, but it is quite stained and it has a lot of leaf litter and stuff on it, as though it hasn't been used much recently. So I assume you're going to continue to go up there. And about a third of the way up the stairs, they're quite considerable. You can tell it's going to take you about an hour to get up to them, and you can see way up on the top as you round bends on the stairs. You can see this 40-foot or 60-foot tower kind of appear and disappear behind the woods.
I need one of these.
You'd be well suited.
The tower to call my own.
Tower to call my own. So you get about halfway up, and Brokar kind of stops and puts his hand on his stomach, and you see him wincing, and you see him kind of move off to the side of the path as though he's going to Ralph it up, but he gets control, and he continues up. I'd like to see everyone do an intelligence check, if you could, please. And remember, if intelligence is a prime attribute, your target number is 12. If it's not a prime attribute, your target number is 18.
Are you okay, my friend?
Brokar will tell you, it feels weird here. I don't like the feeling at all. Maybe those villagers could have told us more than what we already know.
Oh, no.
I failed. I rolled a 4.
Okay, so Lala failed.
I also failed. I'm too concerned with my Brokar.
I got a 14.
And was that on a prime or a
It is
non-prime?
not a prime.
It's not a prime. Okay,
No,
so
not
you
prime is
failed
18,
too.
right?
Yeah. Did
Yeah,
anyone
18.
not fail? Let's put it that way.
So that's D20,
Yep.
and if against your prime statistics.
D20 plus any attribute mods plus your level.
Okay, then I got.
Oh, that means I missed it by
21.
Okay, you're good.
21.
Davik, did you need to add a few stats onto that roll?
No,
or
no,
you
no, no. I
still-
missed it by 1.
Oh, that's horrible. Okay, so those of you who feel okay and didn't fail start to see a shimmering on the stairs about 10 feet away from you. Those of you who did fail are going to have some trouble here, and I'll let you know about that as we go along. I don't know what your guys' experience are, but it's pretty obvious that this is a couple of hellspawn that are just fading into view ahead of you. In fact, it is a pair of lemures, which are a kind of devil, and it's time for us to roll initiative. Initiative in CNC is a straight D10. Highest number goes.
You got a 9.
Okay,
I got a straight up 10.
nice.
So we're each rolling?
Yeah,
Yes.
I got a 3.
okay, you're way down
I
there.
got a staggering 1. So even though I passed my last test, I did crappy on this one.
Excellent. And I'm sorry, Jason, I didn't quite hear what you got.
That was a 9.
Oh, you were the 9.
Yep.
Okay, so your monk goes first, and these two lemures, they're like kind of blobby. They look like they have big sacks of some kind of goo hanging off them. They got big owly eyes and a big, that painting, The Scream, the guy with his oval mouth. They look like that kind of an expression on their face, but they start to advance on you.
Okay. I'm going to engage with one of them, and
All right.
I will go in for a grapple attack, which gives me a +2 if I'm basically wrestling this thing down. I rolled a 13 on my die, +3 plus 2 more on top of that, so that is an 18. 18 on the AC that I hit.
And that's definitely a hit. Definitely a
Okay.
hit. So roll some damage.
Great. And I've got this guy. I'm wrestling with this lemur. And I rolled a 5 on my die, and that's +1 damage because my strength is a 15. So that is 6 damage.
Excellent. A mighty swing. And Archimedes, you're up next.
Okay, I rolled an 18 to hit
Nice. That's a hit.
and 2 points of damage with my quarterstaff as I twirl
Same
on-
one as the
Right.
monk, or are you taking on the other one?
I'm taking the same one as the monk.
Okay, good enough. Already
I've got his neck in a chokehold, and you're just whacking its head.
Yeah, there we go.
he's suffering badly. They both got an initiative of 4, so they're going to have a swing at you guys. They're going to have a swing at the monk.
Do I get any
And
benefits for having one in a grapple?
it doesn't matter. They didn't hit you.
Okay.
Believe it or not. They're really, really, really horrible. Now, the other one is going to have a go. Yeah. So what's your defensive bonus for being in a grapple? Oh, you're not in a grapple with the other one. So
No, I'm
he's
not.
going to.
So it's
Let
only
me
an AC
see.
13 is all I am.
And your AC is 13. Yeah, so he definitely hits you. Rather than actually hit you, what he does is he starts shaking his body around, and in a second, this big cloud of pus kind of exudes from him, and that splats all over you, and that splats all over Archimedes, and the rest of you just miss this cloud of pus. You and Archimedes, the monk and Archimedes, will take a point of damage, and you're going to have to roll a Constitution save, or you're going to be stunned for the next round.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
it is a primary for me,
Nat
and I get a
20.
+3 to this. Actually, just double checking. Is it disease or poison?
This would be poison.
And actually, apparently, it doesn't matter. I rolled a nat 20.
There you go. So no -1 for your no point of damage to you, and you're
I rolled a nat 20 as well. Ironically.
Wasting our 20s.
Nice one.
what a bunch of dice cheaters. Holy smokes. I am kidding,
I don't
of
even need
course.
to roll well on that because I've got a
I
ton of
am.
bonuses.
Totally. I've lost track of who rolled the 3 for initiative.
That would be me.
Okay, you're up next. And then it's
I
it.
would like to whack these things with my great sword.
You pick one to whack, either the damaged wacky in the headlock or the free and moving or oozing wacky.
I'm gonna go free and oozing wacky.
Free and oozing. Give her.
22.
That's definitely a hit.
And then damage is 2d6. So swinging my greatsword. And I add my strength bonus to that, right?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
And
And any bonus to hit. Don't forget your bonus to hit.
that gets added to the damage as well.
No, just the bonus to hit for hitting. Just regular weapon damage.
All right, so 13.
Points damage?
Yes.
Holy smoke and ice holes. Yeah, that guy is really, really bad off. Garv, you're up next.
Okay, so I will obviously see the guy that Walt's just cracked and see he's in a bad way, so I am going to give him a good stabbing with my longsword as well.
Excellent.
Okay, okay, not with a 4, I'm not. So, I will attempt to.
Probably slid a little on the pus-soaked stairs
Yeah.
and lost your footing. But you haven't gone over the edge, which is nice because it's a couple of 100 feet down if you do fall off.
That would suck.
And that's
That
all
would be bad.
wonderful. Let's roll a new initiative, please. You want to beat another 4. It's horrifying, but there you go.
8.
5.
10.
Cool, mine I got a 4.
Was that Jason with a 10?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Unbelievable.
Are you gonna do some like magical crackly stuff?
Not yet. Not yet.
8, I'm sorry, I missed your roll.
4.
4. Okay. So Archimedes is up. And also, I'm sorry, Lala, I seem to have missed yours as well.
I rolled an 8.
An 8. Excellent. Okay.
All right. Archimedes is gonna whirl his staff around and smack the creature again in its head.
Okay.
Hopefully, striking. So I rolled a 17,
That's a hit.
and then 6 damage.
Whoa, this guy is real hurting too. Next would be Lala.
Okay. I am. Oh. Okay. Grappling works a little differently than I thought. So
Grappling
at this
is
point,
considerably different here.
So at this point, maintaining the grapple for me means that he has to make a strength check. If it's a primary attribute for him, it's going to be a DC 12. If it's not a primary attribute, it's going to be a DC 18 for me to maintain this, it looks like.
He made his roll and is able to slip your grasp.
Okay,
Now-
I'll just beat him. And I'm not pummeling. Pummeling is a specific term. I'm just going to
I
beat him in
gotcha.
the face.
Beat him.
I'll just beat him.
Yep, I'll
Beat
just
him. Beat him.
So,
Yeah. I say.
that's a miss, actually. There's no way
Again,
that's
that crazy pus effect on the stairs.
Yep.
Next up is who rolled the 5? My note
That would
taking
be
is
me.
okay. You're up.
I'm gonna try and finish off the one I just finished off a minute ago, or
Excellent.
not quite finished off. You know the deal.
We love finishers.
17.
That's a hit.
Finish him.
All right, and then damage.
Yep.
12.
Oh man! So describe your death kill here for us, please.
What does this thing look like?
He's quite blobby and blubbery looking, with big wide eyes and a mouth and filled with pus, apparently.
So I make the initial cut to slow it down, and then on the backswing, I splatter it all over the road. My friends, the other guy. I mean, just like a huge pinata of decimation. Just ruin him all over the road.
Awesome. So doing his work for him, everyone will need to make another con roll from being splattered by pus. So if you could do
Oops.
that for me, please.
Sorry,
Oops.
Oh, wow.
So
I got a little excited.
it's a primary attribute for me, and because it's poison, I get a total +3, so I got a 22.
Oh yeah,
Jeez.
that's easy to pass.
Plus
I'm rolling
level,
well on
right?
saves, but I'd like to roll well on like beating the snot out of people instead.
It'll come around
Well,
for you.
saves are good though. No, saves are good. Getting good saves are good.
Archimedes,
I only
sorry.
need a 9 up to save on those.
I have failed.
You have failed. Okay, so you're going to be -1 to any of your dice rolls, and you're going to be immobile for the next round as you retch and Ralph due to the pus that's, well, you're just covered at this point.
Oh,
How did everyone else make out?
Okay, and I have a 0 bonus, but it's got a primary, and I got a 17.
Excellent. Excellent. So you're okay. Davik, how did you do in all this?
I was behind it. I didn't get splattered.
Okay, good enough. You think that, do you? How's that con save going, though, really?
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see.
Are we
So
taking damage if we make the save like earlier? Take 1 damage.
If you make the save, you take no damage, and there's no effect.
Okay.
You're just grossed out.
I don't know what Mike's saves are. He got a 16 and I got a 19.
Okay, so he got a 16, and con is his. Yeah, so you're okay. So really, it's only Jason, I guess, who's ralphing and retching.
My bad, bro.
She's wiggle fingers.
So the one remaining looks at the monk, and well, you know what he's going to do. He swings, and it's
Is it spooge
a
bite?
miss, just missed by one. And finally, we had someone who was also going simultaneous with these guys. I believe that was
me.
Aid.
Yeah. Okay, this
Give
time
her
a
a go.
little bit better. I got a
I'm sorry.
I
Cut
think we
out.
broke him.
I think he said 14.
15 this time.
Oh, 15.
15.
Oh, that's a hit. That's a hit.
Disconnected,
Definitely a hit.
15.
Oh, my. Time for you to
15,
do another
15,
spectacular
yes.
death
Okay, groovy.
description, because he's going down.
Okay. So I've got 7 damage, and 7 damage I did. Not 15 damage.
He did
It's not
7
50.
damage with an AC 15.
That still takes him out, brother.
Okay, I will just basically just force my longsword through the guy's throat and just kind of pull it to the left so his head kind of hangs half off.
Excellent. So no big mess of spattering pus here.
No, I've learnt my lesson from big messes.
As the second creature goes down in a great big puddle of goo and kind of gelatinous material, losing all form and shape. So you're out of combat. Excellent. You've just taken on a couple of 2-hit dice devils. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Can I whip up a poultice using my Deerstalker ability to alleviate some of the problems that Jason might be having?
You can certainly wipe him up, but my God, he's covered. He's just a drip from that, and it's going to take, like, I don't know, do you have a couple of spare cloaks in your backpack that you
This
can
cloak is ruined.
just swab him down in?
Well, we can pour some water on him, but I'm saying like so that he's not feeling the effect of whatever this poison is. Put together a poultice to draw out the poison so that he's not.
Okay, you could give that a go. That's not a problem. Do you get a roll for that, Mr. Barbarian?
It's basically just like an ability check.
Okay.
Based on so it's on page 22 of the player's handbook of
Yeah, you'd think
the
I'd know
Castles
that,
and Crusades
right?
player's guide. You were kind enough to put that on there, and then
Yeah, I know. I'm a bugger, though, right? Keep in mind now, that's something I probably should have said, too, is I've only been running CNC for a year, and it's been on Fantasy Grounds, too. So Fantasy Grounds handles a lot of the little
yeah.
niceties and stuff, so I'm just a little watery need myself right now.
So what I'm going to do is that because it's based off of my prime ability, that'll
Give
give
her.
me a 12.
Yep, go for it.
So I'm rolling. I got plus 18. 18.
Oh, yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. You're able to get the goo out of his eyes and nose and from around his mouth, and he's able to clean off his hands after a couple of minutes. The retching stops, and he's feeling much better, although you can see that Brokar, your dwarf, is looking a little green around the gills, and Archimedes is still like, this was just the grossest thing ever. He's still kind of dripping in some of his soggy parts. But you're all safe. You're all safe.
Right.
I would say, Lala, you see a foot sticking out of the bushes on the I'm dropping to my death part of the stairwell.
So
Staircase.
Before we continue on that, there are 2 things I want to mention. One, I just went and read all the grapple rules, and I'll go over that with you when we're playing it. But they can't even attempt to attack anyone if I've got them grappled. 2, if the other thing is, please notify me if something is upwind within 60 feet of me. I automatically know that we have people in our vicinity. If they're within 30 feet, not upwind, I know that there are people within our vicinity. So, or enemies and stuff within our vicinity.
These
So
guys are extra planar creatures, so it's going to be much more challenging.
I can apparently smell things. So I just wanted to let you know that I do have that ability for that. I see a foot, you said.
Yeah, you see a foot. Out of
Does
the
my
wood.
scent tell me that there is someone there?
It smells like a dead foot.
Dead foot. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go and check it out.
Okay, it appears to be attached to a dead person. And as you, I assume, rifle through the belongings, you'll notice that this was a rogue of some sort. And he looks like he's pretty much covered in goo too, and has been there for a number of weeks, and he's pretty rancid at this point. But in one of his fists is very tightly closed.
Okay. I will pry his fingers open.
All right, you pry his
Not
fingers
caring if I
open.
break his fingers.
Yeah, well, you were looking to break some fingers, so I thought I'd give you the chance. He appears to be holding a oblong, looks as though it's a purposeful shape, but it's just a smooth stone.
Wiggle fingers. I start smacking the stone against the ground. Yep. Toss it at Wiggle fingers.
Archimedes says, "What have you got there?" He catches it, and he's going to inspect it.
Okay. It looks pretty normal. It's kind of a grayish stone with kind of a jagged, lightning-shaped ivory strike through it.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to do with this stone to test it or examine it?
I want to see if it has any, see if it's any magical properties that might come to mind, or objects that might come to mind when looking at it.
Nothing obvious. Maybe a detect magic might tell you something.
Let's do that then. I
All right.
will cast detect magic.
Okay, so you cast detect magic, and indeed it is magical, and it reveals its single useful property to you as something you would know as a good luck stone, which conveys on the user +1 to all attribute checks and saving throws.
This is a
So
luck stone. And I'm going to hand it back to Lala. What is your character's name? I'm sorry.
Krook.
Krook. Okay.
Krook.
Krook.
My bad.
Kreuk. Krook.
All right. This will grant you luck, Krook. Not that
No
you need
luck
it.
there. I shake my head. I don't want it. I point
say,
at the dead body.
Yeah, how
Not
lucky could it be? It didn't do anything for them.
Yeah,
Poor
I
sod.
wasn't very lucky with that guy. Yeah.
Well,
Well, you never know.
That's the chance you take.
Someone might need the extra there.
Oh,
So-
I don't doubt that.
So I assume once you've settled and wiped off most of the goo, you're going to continue up the stairs, and that's not a problem. You can get there with a minimum of effort. It'll take you about another half hour of walking, and it's probably pretty shortly before your lunch hour when you finally get to the top of the staircase. It's a gorgeous view. It's looking over the village of Lead Hill, which is, you learn that down in the town. And before you, there's a tower. It's about 60 feet tall and about 40 feet wide, and it narrows just a little bit towards the top. It appears to have your standard wooden cone hat kind of top, and it's made out of stone. So in front of you, there's a very
Okay,
nicely
I know we were
carved.
taking the mick out the guys.
Say again?
I said, I
Say
know we were
again, Aid?
taking the mick out the guys earlier, but I cannot blame him for not wanting to climb those stairs. I can't blame
the
him
sheriff-
for wanting to climb those stairs. Yeah.
The sheriff and his watery knee may be dead on target for this. So the door is quite nicely carved, looks very, very solid, and you can see a big keyhole just below a pull ring in the side of the door.
Who's got the key?
Mm. No.
A certain
Start patting
barbarian,
around for
I
the-
believe.
Okay.
Oh, I have it.
Stick it in.
Here. You
If someone
here,
left it on the
take it.
table, I'm not happy.
Okay, who
Stick it
would
in,
like
turn it.
who would stick it in and turn it? All right.
We'll
Yeah, let me-
volunteer to open the door if no one else wants to.
Not a
Go for
problem. Whatever you would like to do.
We open it.
Okay, you open it, and I'm about to reveal to you the first map. So there you go. That's on Owl Bear Rodeo, which I think you see. And you can see it looks pretty much like what you would expect, a round tower with some rooms. This room appears to take up half the bottom level of the tower. On one side of the doorway that you're entering, there's a very large fireplace built into the wall. On the other side is a large table with chairs and a cupboard that's filled with mugs, plates, silverware, various other bits of crockery. There are a number of animal skin rugs covering the stone floor, including a really nice bear skin right in front of the fireplace. In front of you, there are 3 doors, pretty much equally spaced. As you can see, there's a wall that bisects the tower, and there's a door on the left, door on the right, and the middle of the door you can tell is probably a circular staircase because that's what the picture looks like, and also because there's a little bit of a bulge out into the room.
Right. Well, it looks like we can rest our poor aching feet and calves for a moment.
You certainly can.
All right, listen at the doors. Anything?
You hear like it's hard to describe it as a roar. If it was ladder, it was a roar, but you can tell that the wooden door is actually quite warm.
Guys.
Ugh.
Prepare to stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah. All right, which door was this, the left or the right?
Take your pick. They both actually test the same way. You can hear the same sound behind both of them, and both doors are quite warm. In fact, if there are metal fixtures like the pull rings or banding on the doors, is considerably hotter than the wood, almost too hot to touch.
El Berzadente in the Twitch chat is saying, when in doubt, grenade it out. I do not have any frags, bangers, or poppers on my sheet.
Yeah.
So
I don't have
about
fireball
that.
yet.
About that.
oh, you have some?
Uh-huh.
Well, why don't you step out of the room and I'll try to open the door and see what we have back here.
Okay, I've got a flask of oil rigged up to be a Molotov cocktail ready then.
Yes. Can you say firestorm?
Mhm.
Oh
Ella
my God.
Dresden.
All right, so
Okay.
you guys all back out of the room so I can open
Yes,
this
I
door?
do.
Okay, so you all head back outside,
Cool.
and Davik cracks the door.
Does it open
And
in or out? Like, does it
It
open toward me
opens
or away?
in, opens away from you.
Away from me? Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
No, I can't hide behind the door.
That's the worst time.
Sorry.
That's
Is there a
bad.
table I can hide behind?
Oh, you can like overturn the dining room table there to your right as you come in the front door and drag it over to one of the doors to use as cover.
Yes, let's do that. And then I pull
All
the
right.
door.
Not a problem. So you pop the door and you can see the place is quite brightly lit. You're just, boom, a big wall of heat just right in your face. And it looks like this is some kind of a kitchen. It's really, really warm because there's a large brick oven and a fireplace on the north wall, and it's just a roaring. That was the noise that you heard. Pots and pans, broken dishes, bent cooking implements, and lots of cook fire ash. It's just all over the room. The place is a complete mess. There are a number of workbenches and tables. For instance, there's a square cutting block, and it's one of those things where it sort of has a lower shelf, and you can see a nice ornate pot sitting underneath that. But that appears to be just about the only thing that is intact.
Somebody burnt their dinner, it looks like.
Yeah, I let everybody know what's going on.
And in fact, if you were to stick your head in, you can see that the other door at the other end of the wall leads into this room as well.
So serving doors, pretty much.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Let's do a quick run through of the kitchen. Just make sure nobody's like dead, and if there's a way to kind of trounce this fire a little bit, or lower the heat, so that this doesn't get out of control in the event that we have to go up that center staircase.
Yeah. Good plan. So you have easy access to the fireplace and the oven. There doesn't appear to be any food on the go. It just appears to be roaring for the sheer delight of having a hot space to live in. When Crook enters the room, she'll remark that she can definitely smell an underlying tone of brimstone.
Oh dear.
Not again.
Not again. Not again.
I point at Archimedes. Three finger this time.
Okay.
3 fingers. Yes, agreed.
All right. So do we douse some of this flame to so that
Yeah,
we-
you can. There's a couple of pails of dirty, sloppy water there, so you can douse it, or you can just use some of the fireplace implements to drag a few of the logs out. It's not going to hurt the room because you can see that they're, along with the ash that the whole room seems to be covered in. There are actually, in fact, some burnt out cinders of the stubs of logs and stuff. So someone really has been misusing this room.
All right.
So I would like to take some of that ash
Mhm.
and gather it up in little parcels. Generally you can find little bits of twine and little bits of something to
Yeah.
wrap stuff with here.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to
that's
gather some up, make myself a couple little satchels of this charred dust.
excellent. You can do that without a problem.
Fantastic.
Is that a pussycat?
Mm-hmm. He is very
Hello,
upset.
pussycat. Oh,
He's
no.
very upset because he's not allowed to play.
Oh, gee. Well, I can understand his disappointment for sure.
Oh.
Brokar's got a character for him.
Brokar. Yay.
He'll get to roll Brokar's dice, and then I'll spend the next hour finding them all.
That's good though. It's what else have you got to do today, really? So that's fine.
So Archimedes senses something's wrong with this brimstone smell. Can I use my intelligence to try to figure out what might be up with this fire?
Sure. Give me an intelligence roll on that, if you would, Archimedes, please.
All right. So
That's
I get a
a-
12.
That's a prime. Oh boy, just barely.
Yeah.
It smells very devilish. It smells very, very evil. You may have read about this from your mentor about the pervasive smell in hell or something
Okay.
like that. It's not a this worldly smell. But again, there's nothing in the room. There are no symbols. There are no effigies. There's nothing in particular. Well, actually, that pot under the butcher block, that your nose kind of hones in on that.
Okay.
Because the pot, compared to everything else in the room, looks actually quite clean and undisturbed. The chopping block that it's on the bottom shelf of looks like it's had the living daylights beat out of it. But when you're struggling with your fresh kill, that might be just a side effect.
Right on. Okay. Everybody be aware. This brimstone could be trouble. And there's something up with that pot.
Mm.
I'll go lift the pot with one hand and be ready to strike whatever's underneath with stun attack on the other hand.
Okay, it moves quite nicely, and I would like everyone to make a wisdom check, please.
Oh dear.
All right.
This might be an issue.
Hey!
It's the roll plus modifiers set against 18, right? Because
That's
set
correct.
against,
Plus level, right?
is it plus level too?
Not for an attribute check. Or pardon me, yes, totally for an attribute check.
This
Level
is-
doesn't get involved in combat. That's where the bonus to hit comes in. But for an
Is
attribute
this
check,
a save?
pardon me.
17.
Is this a save?
No, it's an
No,
attribute
this is
check.
this is an attribute check.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're in this case for wisdom. I'm checking to see if you've been surprised.
16.
17.
And let me know if you make it or don't make it. That's really all I need to
Make it.
know.
Fail.
I am not surprised.
You are not surprised?
I have combat sense, so that gives me bonuses.
Excellent. Very good. Anyone caught flat-footed?
I am surprised.
Aid is surprise. Surprise.
I'm
I
surprised.
got a 7, yeah.
Garv, actually. Okay. So Garv is unable to take part in this first round of combat with a couple of mephits.
Okay.
Mephits? Did I have that right? Oh, for heaven's sakes, Dale. Get it together. Pardon me, not mephits, imps. And so let's roll a regular initiative for everyone but Aid. You're not going to get an attack in this round.
Okay.
Oh, beat a 6 if you can.
I got a 10.
Oh, of course you did.
9.
My
7.
dice are on fire.
7 from Walt?
Yep.
Who did I miss?
I think
8
everybody-
rolling. Jason, I guess I must have missed your number.
I have a 10.
You have, honest to goodness, you're an awful man. So despite the surprise attack, you will all get attacks on them before they do. Jason, you're up. There's 2 of them, one at either end of the room. And you can see that one looks to be distinctly male without his clothes on, and the other one seems to be distinctly female.
Do I know anything about
About imps? You know that they have a tail with sort of an arrowhead ending that acts like a stinger.
Okay.
And you know that if they are mature, they're capable of doing hit point regen every round.
Eesh. Okay.
Unless you throw them in the fire.
Yeah.
They love the fire.
I bet they would. I am going to smack it with my quarterstaff. I've got a 15 to hit,
Yep, that's dead on. That just hits their armor class.
a 7 damage.
Whoa! And is that against the he or the she?
Let's go with the he. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so he's unhappy. He's very happy. He looks horribly wounded because he's just a little guy, and he's really, really glaring at you. Crook, you're up next.
Okay, Krook is going to do a grappling attack instead of stunning it, and I bought a couple big, huge sacks, so I'm gonna grapple it, toss it in the sack, and grapple it into the sack.
Okay, what's your
Because
check for a
these creatures are
grapple?
pretty
Is that a
small.
strength one or a dex?
That for me is a strength, and I get
Okay.
a +2.
Yep.
So I got a 21. Yeah,
Holy
I
smoking ice hole!
Ooh.
So is that the first one that you're going after that's always been hit, or the other one?
the other one.
Okay.
I'm going to go after the other one. So how this works is their AC is not the normal AC. Their AC is going to be a standard AC of 12, and the defender is going to get a strength check to get out of it on his turn. But until he gets out, he can't do anything when I have him grappled. No casting,
Righto.
no fighting, nothing.
And in this case, you actually have him bagged, correct?
I do have him bagged. Grab, shove him
Excellent.
in the bag.
Yeah, that was
You said
not
it
a
was pretty
difficult
small,
thing
so-
for you at all. Next up is Davik.
Gonna hit him like I got a wiffle ball bat.
Just don't whiff.
Yeah, right. 17.
And that is against the bagged imp or the free and roaming
Unbagged.
imp? The bagged imp. Oh, so you definitely hit it. That's not a problem.
Holding it up as a pinata. There you go.
8 and that's 10 total.
Whew. All right. So you take a unholy swing at the bag and hit it quite nicely, actually severing the bag and the imp in between it, and the bottom half drops in a sudden thud, onto the floor, and you can just see sort of the remains of the top half of the imp dangling where the bag is. Nice hit, killed it outright.
Davik. Oh, crook new bag.
The one who's
Put it on my tab.
alive. Ah, you killed my beloved, and you're stealing our treasure. You'll die for this. And the one who's still mobile is going after the barbarian. Barbarian. Isn't that like something you drink before a medical procedure? The barbarian. And as soon as I find your armor class, oh yeah, he hits
armor
you.
class is a 15. Yep.
He hits you. He's going to bite you, doing 3 points of damage, and then he's going to try and get a sting in on you. And he gets a sting on you, and that does a single point of damage. If you would like, please please give me a Constitution check to see if you can avoid the poison.
19.
That's pretty much avoiding the poison. So you won't take 2 damage per round for the next 4 rounds.
I love when that happens, or rather, when that doesn't happen.
Okay, Aid, I think you're next.
I have no attack this round, do I?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I have no
he's-
attack this round.
I'm half deaf today. My apologies.
Yeah, he was saying that that he's not going to have an attack this round.
Oh,
'cause he was
that's right. It's
surprised.
still the first round. My apologies. Great, then. Let's go to a new initiative. You have one imp left, badly wounded, but really, really angry that you've killed his wife and you're trying to steal his loot. He rolled a 9. He's so angry.
I'm at the bottom. 1.
I rolled the 9.
9.
I got 8.
So a 9 from Jason and from Walt?
Yep.
And 8, I'm sorry I missed you again.
8.
8. Excellent. Okay. So, because he's so angry, I'm going to let him have the first attack because there's like 3 of you go simultaneous with him. It's just horrifying for the poor little fella. And he totally misses Davik. Okay, so you folks can decide who's going in what order.
Walt can go before me.
Did Aid? You got another 9 too, right?
He got an 8.
No,
You got an 8.
Who's the other one who got a 9?
I did.
The rest of you except Crook.
Oh, all right. So yeah, all right. Let's 21.
That's a hit.
Damage is 2d6. Not so great. 9.
Right. So you pretty much do to Mr. Bale what you just recently did to Mrs. Bale, and with a mighty swing, he severed completely in half, and both halves just kind of go boom, and he's dead as a doornail. We're out of combat, and by the looks of my clock, I think we're out of time for this session.
We are.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we're gonna rely on Mike to kill the feed. Because that is what we are doing for today. And if you join us next week, we are going to continue with our gaming playtest of Castles and Crusades. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, folks.
You did a great
So we're
job,
wrapping up?
Rokar. That's
Okay.
your
Thanks for
performance
tuning in.
was
We'll see you next week.
admirable.